nobody wants to go through that trouble. So this is my way of kind of sharing things between the regions. It's certainly extra fun for me on NA side because I don't normally visit on that side of the pond much. So it's always interesting to see what's going on over there. But of course, we do spend a lot of time on Jabbit as well. Okay, so that's the end of the house tours part of today's show. From here on, we're going to be visiting some CBDC related projects. Again, we're not going to be doing the CBDC anymore, at least not for the time being. But I need to wrap up what we did for last month. I never got around to being able to do the showcase for February's CBDC, which was themed romance. And what happened with that is I built up a little custom mini cottage type thing and gave out the code to those that were going to participate and invited them to decorate it in a romantic way or whatever. I think the requirement was they leave the house as it was, but they were welcome to add anything to it. But they also had to include at least one item that was heart-shaped, some kind of like either a pillow, an emblem, a pane of glass, whatever they wanted to make it. Just a single one. So we'll see if everyone did that. Yeah, I know, Aurora. It's just I just don't have the time or the gumption to continue with those for right now because again, this year has been really awful for me medical wise. So um, I'm trying my best to stay as healthy as possible, but it gets pretty draining, and I feel guilty when I can't put my full focus on um, these kind of things. So rather than feel guilty about it, I'm just going to put them on hiatus for the time being. So hopefully everybody understands. It's not to say that you guys couldn't issue your own challenges to each other. That would be pretty amazing if somebody picked up on that and did it, even if I'm not doing it myself. If somebody wanted to do that and decided to like be the host of it, I would be happy to do like we did today and add a little showcase bit at the end of one of the tour streams just to show you guys your guys' efforts off. But I just won't be hosting any myself for the time being. So yeah, so let's, there was one participant on NA side, so we'll go visit theirs first. Let me see, what was it? Twilia. Now, I should mention, this come up a little while before I left, that people don't see how I'm visiting others. Because I use KBT, which is Katya's Builder's Toolkit, um, she has a built-in feature in that particular add-on where you can just type directly into the chat /visit and then the name of whoever it is. That's what I use because I know I was doing it earlier and trying to find Jess's place, but I typically don't like to use the built-in random finder because one, I've had the issue of it before being stuck on like 20 or 30 names and the same 20 or 30 names showing up. And the fact too that sometimes there are some rather impolite house titles and character names on there. So I was trying to avoid bringing those up all the time. And it's kind of annoying to have that pop up and then you have to click on the window and then you have to type it in and then you have to click the button. And it's just easier to type it directly in chat. So that's why you don't see what I'm doing when we go to visit a new plot. So for anybody that's not familiar with KBT, it's nothing I'm doing that's magic. It's just I'm skipping over the general. But if you are doing it without KBT, you would just type in the name here and then hit the visit button. So it's just a slightly more convenient, and I've just gotten used to doing it, and I don't even mention it usually, but I saw somebody a little confused about it before, and I thought I'd better say something. But anyway, so this is Twilia, let me make sure I get this right, Twilia Nightshades plot. also known as Gypsy, on the forums and probably other ways, because I think they're the ones that do the little gypsy wagons. And so this is uh, the plot that they put their little cottage on. Now, I don't think they built this particular plot expressly for this challenge, so I'm not going to show all of it. I'm just going to show this little corner here that they said that it was placed. So here's the cottage. This is the little prefab house that I gave everybody a copy of. Made out of brown books, curved walls, a little bit of decking, not decking, cover part pieces. There's pillars for the porch, and I think that was about it. I left out any glass. There's windows built in, but I left the glass out so that people could decorate it however they wanted. I told folks they were welcome to block in the walls that they wanted to. Um, and just the main stipulation was that you weren't to remove any pieces, but you could add whatever you wanted. So this is Gypsy's, what do you call it, interpretation of the romance theme for February. So they added a little flower bed here. They've trimmed it in the books to kind of keep with the book theme. You can see there's the tall finger flowers, some of the, I can't think of the name of those plants, some bushes, trees, and what's it called? Emerald, emerald leafy plant or something. But you can see how amazing job they did on the glass for the windows. They've just layered in the little diamond pieces. Some are framed, some are unframed, so you get some nice little patterns going on there. And then they turned this one into an actual, like a, what do you call it? What's the thing called? A bay window thing where it's kind of poked out. They've just added books. They use the grimoires, the same ones that I use for the fireplace and couch and stuff in mine. Looks really nice. It blends really well, and it matches the book theme of that. But yeah, the bay window is a really nice little touch on it. Now let's just go to the outside here. They added a whole little patio area. I think they just oversized a book or two to make this up. So you got a little fountain here. Basically, I think it's one of the Oran fence posts. And then they've added, I think it's a drake and cauldron, and then a larger one down here for the bottom, and then some of those new waterfalls for the water, and then lots of the overgrowth for ivy type of features. Looks like a flower pot for the base of the table here, and then one of the Oran windows for the tabletop. Again, they made a little heart shape here by using color shifted bananas, and then using this part here, and then that's all one piece. It's part of the, again, it's that Oran fence post, but they turned it into a little heart. I think that's pretty fun for the little entryway here. I like a little shower thing. It's that flower thing. There's actually two versions on the housing vendor. One like costs 4 gold, and the other is I think 50 silver or something. To a cup for not only the handles but also the shower head itself. And then books, yellow books for the whole walls and stuff. Again, I like how they tried to stick with the books They even have it as trim for the garden parts of this. That wasn't a requirement, by the way, for all the books for the walls and stuff, but I find it cute that they stuck with it. Because those aren't particularly the best to work with because it takes so many to build it up. Notice they made a little open window for this back one. So it opens out. They've got a little, looks like some food bits. I am not sure what these are supposed to be. It looks like red peppers, some fruit, and maybe, I don't know, maybe those are supposed to be apples. Looks like bell peppers to me. I think it's because it's a little blocky. And maybe some cream-filled pastry or something. This looks like punch, orange punch coming out. Those are Chua pillows and some little greenery, and I don't know what else. These look like the bottoms of the barnacle weeds for the caps on those. Yeah, the open window you just don't see too much. So I like how they changed that up, a little different than what I did. Notice the a little ivy bit here. It reminds me of the tunnel I did for the Valentine plot. They're using the violet flowers to be like wisteria, I think is the name of the plant. Almost looks like berries. It could be like grapes or something hanging off, but since they're not round and it's more leafy, it reminds me of, like, we call it here blue rain, but they're actually kind of purple plants. It's like an ivy that grows up the side, and then it has these like little dangly flowery parts. It looks just like this. Very pretty. Very nice little garden area. So on the inside, well, here's the door again. It matches the same pattern that they got for the bay window and the other windows, the diamond patterns. And inside, they've turned it into kind of like a little mini kitchen here. You've got the sink, same workings as the shower outside. And then their shelf is also books. Again, they didn't have to stick with the book theme, but they chose to, which I think is nice. They're using one of the habanero flowers as like the red rose. I think it's other books for the doors to the cabinets here, and then wine bottles tops for the handles on those. Even the little shelf is cute. It's a couple of 2x4s with the leaf windows as the sides. Here's the bay window. Again, it's the grimoire book for the base, Chua pillows for the cushions. Looks like they're using the eggs as the popcorn here. And then, of course, this is one of those Valentine items I think that they made available shortly last month, where you get some of the Valentine plushies and then the little Valentine heart pillow. Here we have a projector, which is interesting. I've seen a few people attempt it, and not so detailed as this one, I can say. You have a metal crate, got a Chua spotlight, some of those exile streamers on the side here. For the actual, like, the projector wheels or whatever you call them, those are nautical wheels. There's hammers for the joints here. Looks like a pillar for this part, and then cover part pieces for the actual rounds. There's a suitcase there. A detonator controller thing for this little panel here. And it looks like they're using, hard to tell, it looks like hanging chains to kind of represent the film going in. Kind of hard to get in a good angle because my camera keeps playing with it, but yeah, I can't get in there really good, but that's what it looks like. A lot of detail into that. And then, of course, they've got the little screen pillars and cylinders for the top, and then of course and then they've got it spotlighted, so it's like they're projecting a little video on there. Really cute. It's basically just some mossy overgrowth for the grasses. One of the orange clocks for the house. I think it's an orange sconce for the sun. Um, some pillows for some of the accents. It looks like a heart table there. Really cute little deal. Here's a little stove pot. What do you call it? A little wood burning stove. Basically the Merg explosive, two of pillars, and then down here, not sure what that is. I want to, yeah, it looks like a candle. It's a candle there inside. And then on this part here, that's I think it's the red moon vent. Looks really good though. It gives off a little bit, and this little glowy has a nice effect. Pretty awesome. That'd be great for a little cabin like this, or like a log cabin or something. But yeah, really a nice little play on things. Happy with how that turned out. So thank you, Gypsy, for participating in that, and appreciate you sharing it with us, what you did with it. So that's, what was it, Twilia Nightshades CBDC entry for February. So I'm going to switch over real quick. Yeah, it's a projector. Which regions here? Real quick. Yeah, it's kind of it's addictive in how you constantly are looking for new things to try. And you know, even if someone has actually tried something that you've or you know that you're thinking of, like say a train, you know, we've seen a few versions of trains. It doesn't mean you can't go ahead and try and make your own version of it. It's one of the reasons why I like the CBDC, because it put everybody's focus on basically the same concept or idea, but then they could twist it to however they wanted. Is that why you wanted the CBDC, to push you into it? Before, maybe I'll just assign you your own little bits on the side. Okay, we're back on Jabbit now. Okay, so the first one we're going to go to is, well, I can't go to Ethel's because it's private. Let's go to Poise. This is Misty Summer. Okay, I'm not sure where it's located at, so we're going to have to hunt for it. Oh, I see it. So it's like a little winter cottage here. So again, you can see it's similar looking to the one we visited before, because again, everybody starts off with the same basic little house. But Poi has obviously decorated theirs differently, which is the whole idea, to see how everyone approaches the same project differently. And that's how you get fun ideas. You think, oh, that I could have done that, or I should have done this, or that's an interesting approach, and that kind of thing. So this one's set in the winter, and so you've got a lot of little frost brambles around the edge, some snow-covered trees and bushes. A lot of those habanero blooms for that touch of red. And then the icicles, of course, thrown in here and there. Um, Again, they didn't choose to put the flowers in a square bed, but they did add little flower bits here, along with some extra added. It's the blue pod planter. I think I'm saying it right. And they've added some of those winter bushes, the brambles, and then the icicles along the edge, just to kind of dress it up a little bit. You can see here too how they've filled in the windows. This one's another, not exactly, it's like a diamond pattern again. Again, this is a good example of how layering the glass will change how it looks. It becomes even more frosted the more layers you get. So as you've got just a couple of panes here, and then you add another pane, as it keeps going to the smaller one, since this is like on the top of all the others, it's the brightest. You can really create some interesting designs using that knowledge that as things layer up, they just appear differently. So there's that one. These here, they treated them a little different. They've got little, I don't know, what do you call them? Shutters? Not shutters. Like blinds, Venetian blind kind of things. I'm not sure what's being used. Is that 2x4s? To tell. I think that's what it is though. Back window's the same way. So it looks kind of see-through in one direction but covered in the other. Same way with this side window too. Excuse me. Oh, the lamps here. Yeah. I think there's a couple of lampposts that behave the same way. They're strange. They added a door. That was something else I didn't have in the basic build that I gave to everybody. I didn't have the door on there, so they had to put that on themselves. So for the handle, it looks like a Google portrait. And then I want to say it's the Draken Cauldron. Maybe it's just recolored files, I'm not sure. And possibly travel posters. It's kind of dark, so I'm not sure on that either. And we come into the interior, and they took theirs a little bit more. I don't know, this looks like somebody's love shack here. You've got, what is this stuff? It looks like recolored, what's that thing called? The graded floor panel. Looks like you've colored them blue. For the seating, it's the snow blocks for the cushions, and then the pink pillows. They even look like they've been slightly colored, I'm not sure. For the drawers themselves, looks like metal edged 2x4s, and then the same idea that you did for the door here, you replicated that for the smaller version. So it's Google portraits and then bottle tops for that. Got a champagne goblets there. Using that odd little corner that I left as the fireplace, which is good. Looks like multiple curved walls here to get that layered up like you needed it. Curved glass to contain it, and then that falcon fire pit. See you later, Floody. I appreciate it too. Oh, is that how it works, Faye? That's kind of annoying though, because they look lit up, but they don't give off much light. Okay, into the little cozy bedroom. Um, we have the lovely little heart polar bear. This is actually something I made and I gifted to Poi, and so Poi, it was fine to add it to this one because it suits it. It's a little cuddly bear, so you know, why couldn't you put that in there? But I appreciate them showing that off. Um, the bed itself, these little trimmings here are the fancy Dominion dressers. And they're using some of those Valentine plushies and heart pillows. The headboard, I think, is travel posters and Hugo portraits for that gold filigree. And of course, the mattress and pillows are the snow blocks. Notice the handles on the cabinets here is replicated again with the cabinetry here and the door in the front. And it looks like layered glass just to kind of offset this wall a little bit. Oh, that's all right. That's quite all right. Understandable. It's probably not the best idea to try and use the carrots as signatures for the paintings, but you know, it's a carrot. I'm called Carrots, so it seemed fitting, but I know it's not exactly easy because you do have to have, I think it's, what is it, Galeris rep for that? The wedding house. Oh, is this like the where they come for the honeymoon? Excuse me. It's very adorbs. And again, it was, you know, a tough. See, now they light up. Isn't that weird? Um, but it was a tough kind of thing to ask people to use this cramped up little house. It's amazing what you guys have been able to fit into it, though, considering the space and still being able to try and make it so that you can comfortably walk through it without getting stuck. I know I was having problems with that. In fact, I didn't even finish mine, to be truthful, but I'm glad you guys have found some fun and interesting and beautiful ways of decorating it so that it's unique to yourselves, even though you're all basically using the same piece. Um, I guess I could go ahead and visit mine real quick before I forget. I think I forgot last time. Um, Again, I haven't done anything on it. I haven't actually played in probably almost a month now, so it's been pretty rough. But this is what I put it together. We were doodling around saying that you could expand it out, and we were playing around with other ideas of things to put in it, but you can see mine hasn't changed. But I did my best throwing around some ideas, hopefully, you know, to inspire the rest of you for yours. But this one's on Cicely Greenleaf, and it's actually not public right now. I'll have to get around to doing that sometime soon, hopefully. Maybe when I actually work myself around to finishing it. But this is what started this whole particular CBDC. Was I was doodling around with a little house, and somebody said we should use that, and I said, oh, okay, I will do that. So the next one we're going to visit is Aurora's. Let me make sure I'm spelling this right. It's Callista Azure in that plot. Well, it's weird because it's like midday. I wish it was on our own clock. Now, Aurora and the next one we're going to visit, which is Maddie's, both of them decided to actually dedicate a full plot to this whole project. So I'm going to go ahead and show both in their entirety. I'm not going to go into too much detail as far as, you know, everything that they've used, but it'll give you an idea of how taking one little aspect and then building upon that can create something really lovely. So this is Aurora's take on it. You can see they've basically kind of the same concept as mine with the layered, the tiered levels of ground, but they've done it much more beautiful than I did. Like I said, landscaping's my worst nightmare, so I'm happy that somebody can show you guys really how to pull it off and make it look like it's just meant to be that way. So they've used a combination of snowy hills and actual Protostar Insta hills in combo to get all of this lovely elevation of different areas of ground. To connect these little plateaus or whatever you want to call them, they've got these cute little bridges that are made out of upside down water troughs. So it looks like a little walkway kind of thing, like a track. And using those upside down stones, the same ones I used for mine. It's those, not the lamp posts, but the fence posts, the Draken fence post, I think is what it is. Draken, Falcon, one of those. They have those brown stones. We're always looking for alternative stony type pieces that we can use rather than always reverting to the obsidian or the gray or the sandstone. And these have a nice texture to them. They very easy to make them look natural looking as far as you see small, big, turned different ways. You get a lot of different looks. It doesn't look too repetitive or anything. And Aurora has just put that to really good use. So, pardon me. We have a little romantic picnic here. Upside down cheese block so that you don't see the cheese. And then they're using the edge of a sandbag for bread. Using some of those fireworks crates and lids for a picnic basket type of deal. Pillars for the handles, of course. Looks like a fruit basket inside. It looks like it's packed with little goodies. Over here we have some garden areas. Looks like cylinders or whatever being trimmed, used for trimming so that you don't see the divisions between the different layers of the snowy hills. Looks like the same stones being used for the pathway as well. Some underlighting to kind of add a little accent to it. A lot of different, I think like the canary flowers, I think those come from WildStar. You've got some bramble bushes, looks like some of those weeping cups that's been turned pink to give them a little different color. A lot of different bits. Some of these little clumps, these little clusters here with the white flowers and the purple, those are from the vases. It's thrown out really nicely. And then you have this lovely little arched thingy, I don't know what you call it, archway deal. It looks like, what is it, short, what are those things called? Rain gutters for the arch itself, touched with the yellow flowers and overgrowth, like a little ivy bit. And then the same piece is being used for the swing. So you've got rain gutters here for the back and seating, and then for the arm as well, and then some hanging chains. Really cute. It looks almost like leather to me. I could easily see that being turned into like a leather couch. Hey Sean, welcome to the show. Yeah, a really awesome setup. See, again, I've tried to make my layered garden. It didn't look as pretty as this one. Yeah, amazing stuff. Yeah, it just leads off. So again, the oversized little foresty bits, those are the bramble bushes that are just sized up. They're great at making it fill up as if it's like little forest kind of bit. So again, some of those new waterfalls, good example of how you can layer them up and make a nice little water feature with them. Got to get a good look at this little lantern lamp post kind of thing that they built. Again, it's water troughs for this little roofing here, ladders for the bracketry here. Looks like an Orin window for the bottom, and then the hanging, I think it's hanging exile lamp. I'm going to skip the house first and go up above to the little gazebo. Again, the water troughs for that. It almost looks like it'd be ideal for like a beach resort kind of thing. It's not quite thatch, but it kind of reminds me of that. It looks like acorn almost too, or pine cone. I think pine cone's what I'm thinking of. Wow, did it take 3 parts? That's crazy. Yes, it is, Sean. It's coming up. People need to take advantage of it for sure. So here again, like I said, water troughs for the roof. You can see that a little bit more clearly if you look at it from below. Um, Water troughs as well for the edging. Notice they were clever in keeping it interesting by changing the height, the elevation of each, just to make it a little different, and then trimming it with the ladders. Looks really great. The little ivy bits that are growing along it, those are those drooping, I want to say drooping eggplant, but that's not it. Drooping gorge fruit, I think is what it's called. The stools are upside down feeding troughs with the pillows on top. Of course, you got that brown table. Um, it's just pushed down so you don't see those long gangly legs on it. And then I think a pillar for the center. And then it looks like an orange chandelier, but that's been recolored to like the black and white version. So it looks softer. It doesn't look as, not to say the other one is gaudy, but it doesn't always blend well. It's because it's so colorful, but this looks really nice and subtle. Again, just an example of a good place to use that color shift. You don't have to use it on everything, but just little touches here and there will make a big difference. Okay, so if you can't see it, this little part here, that's the cottage. That gives you an idea of how much Aurora has tacked on. Now, she'd asked me in advance if it was all right to use like one of the windows as a doorway. I was like, as long as your character can fit through it, go for it. Because I didn't give any restrictions in that regard. So I said, as long as you just leave the house as it is that I give you and just add on to it, you can add as much as you want. And she ran with it for sure. So let's just kind of look on the outside first. So right off the bat, you can see that she did a similar kind of little emblem, little heart shape. Hers is much more fancy and colorful than mine, but it looks like granite tubing for the trim of the heart, and then probably just color shifted flooring for the interior of that. There's little sconces on the entryway here. Um, I'm honestly not sure for positive what that is. It looks like 2 bowls, one color shifted to yellow and one color shifted to purple. It almost looks like a little gem, and then added a little bit of an overgrowth for trimming. And you can see how they've added almost like a little welcome mat kind of thing. It's again looks like a Hugel portrait, and I almost want to say that's been color shifted to be even brighter than it normally is, but that could just be my mistake on that. They've created a little house-shaped, cottage-shaped mailbox, which I think is adorbs. Basically, I'm guessing that they just copied the original set, shrunk it down, and there you have the little house. But it's not exactly. You can see these are oversized books, so it's not exactly that, but it's similar enough where it looks very cute. Um, Got the little flag up. Looks like a exile wall. And of course, using that same stone for the base of it. And the way they make that functional like a real one is they've actually taken one of the in-game mailboxes and just sunk it down inside, so it looks like it's just, I love that one. That's too cute. There is a little patio in the front. It looks like hollow domes for the seating. And then the brown tables looks like they've been slightly color shifted to a purple or to be like cushions. It's a popular chair thing, but every one of them that I've seen still looks a little different from the other. The patio itself looks to be another dome or cylinder just sunk down, so it's just edge. And of course, these little bits here for the fire braziers is pillars, just two different sizes. Take notice too of the windows. Now, the one on the end of the house that we normally see, that's actually being used as a doorway to get into this little room here. But you can see that they've kept the same theme. Honestly, I can't believe you actually built the rest of it out of books, because that was like several hundred pieces. So this has got to be an enormous amount. How many did you say it was? 1,720 pieces? Goodness, that's a lot of stuff. But following with the similar look, they've got the curved walls for the roofing up here, but then they went with flat ones on this part, which works nicely. It makes it look like a very modern little cottage type of thing. And then again, went with diamonds for the window patterns, I guess. You've got a cute little waterfall type thing going on here. Again, it's some of the stones that we see being used out here with bowls, and then the actual waterfalls to just drip it off into it. Very cute little setup there. So again, keep in mind, they started off with the basic cottage that I sent everybody, and then they've just tacked on so much more. So here's the entrance into the original. Notice how they've just decked it out totally different. Doesn't even look like what everybody else's was, but there's similarities, so you recognize it, and then you're like, what? So they used the empty trophy cabinets as not only the seating, but also the cabinet itself. Some color shifted green pillows to look yellow instead. Nice little flower arrangement here. They've turned some of the yellow flowers to pink or red. Add a nice pop of color. Got a book, and it looks like, I can't tell if they color shifted this or not, but it looks like one of the travel posters to make it look like it's the cover of the book. We've seen that in a few places. It's always a nice idea. The interior, it looks like they've added orange floors, and then they've colored them a red, and then used something for the trim to make it yellow. I honestly don't know what. Draken ritual pot with bright green bushes, and then it looks like some of those white flowers shaded purple. They added a painting as well. Cupid. I can't remember. Was it all purple pillows, I think? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Oh, adorbs is that. So many pillows too. That's just, you're crazy. That's what I gotta say. All pillows, purple pillows. But I guess this is like a little love. Well, it says honeymoon cottage. So I guess this is where you check in. So the hearts, those are, I think it's the gray stones that have been recolored purple, purple pink. Uh, we talked about that before when Aurora said they made great hearts. That's okay, Poi. We'll see you later. Thank you for dropping by, and appreciate all the help. Yeah, I remember you saying you were worried about them poking through. Again, a lot of color shifting going on here, folks. There's like the yellow flower's been turned pink here. Um, Again, this is the empty trophy cabinet, multiples of them being used to make this little desk, check-in desk. I know that's a Marauder chair, but it looks like it's been color shifted. And these are color shifted parts. What is that, a dome and a wall, I think? And this is a combination of the Hugel portrait candle, and this is one of those, is that a taurine mask thingy? The dangly bits? Aurora loves those gold accents. These were actually window slots, and they've blocked it in with like a granite wall floor thingy. Here you have a little banquet table. Again, a lot of color shifting here. There's I presume it's the white curtains that have been color shifted yellow to make them look really gold and everything. Let's see what all we can see here closer. Looks like croissants. Can't get real close enough. Looks like croissants there from sandbags, maybe. A little pie made out of a couple of bowls for that little fluted or nice little crust. A red rocket for the little, I don't know, strawberry on top. Probably an Oran window for the cream in the center, and then maybe some either white rocket or snowy clumps for the little creamy part, the white part, poofy part. These look like, what is that? Like some kind of parfait or something? I don't know what the names of those things are. It looks like, again, the red rocket being used kind of like it's a layered dessert. So maybe like the dynamite at the bottom, the red rocket for those two parts, and then inside a glass. So it's like a strawberry bit. I love the cake here. Hard to get in close view because my character doesn't want to get up there. I can't jump on the table like I normally would want to. But it looks like cornerstone pieces of the snow bit. So it looks like icing, and then color shifted some bits, either a book or maybe it's the back of the tree portrait or something, like the wood to make that layer kind of look to it. Looks like the strain overgrowth for icing trim, and recolored some flowers. Same way with the inside of the bowls here. Looks like they just color shifted different things to make it look like different jellies or something. Really cute stuff. Table and chairs. Again, it looks like the empty trophy cabinet. Like somebody's visiting. Looks like the drake and fence gate for the back of the chairs, and then again with the round wooden tables being color shifted to a purple for the cushion. Base of that is the bowls. Move on to the next part. Now again, this was pretty much the standard house here, just this part here. And this is where that window would have been that you saw on the others. Notice the stairs here is books as well. And this just they built all the rest of this on to it. Just so much, Aurora. You just went nuts with this. So we have the living room area, which is got these nice love seats. You've got purple pillows. Just looks like resized down. You've got the tubing, the granite tubing. You've got the chilling wine. Looks like a little frozen lake there. The wine bottle has been even dressed up special. It's looks like a file upside down, and then the neck and the sides have been decorated with it looks like multiples of the ritual pots and a little bit of Google portrait. The wine glasses have been custom made. It's like a glass on top of, what is that? Um, Looks like, I want to say it's the top of a file, and then a couple of the Draken ritual pots, and then a plate for the bottom. That's some dedication there. All the details, it's just amazing. The flower pot for this, that's an actual fountain, I think. The big screen TV is just one of those, I don't know, luminary, Illimari, I don't know, soldier portraits. And then it looks like a couple of graded floor panels just laid on top so you don't see the picture. This here, that's one of those detonator lights. Fireplace is more books, really nice. Again, a lot of those empty trophy cabinets throughout, it kind of helps maintain that whole look of that aged wood there. Looks like Osun floor grading from not Arc, is it Arcterra? One of those places. Framed glass, thorny logs, like a granite wall that's been recolored. Again, there's a lot of recolor, and even the rug here has been recolored. Got a nice romantic little jacuzzi thing for the honeymooning couple. A lot of color shifting. Again, the bottle, this is multiples of the files there. This is one of the new waterfalls being used for that nice little water effect here. Look at all the books added to make that nice little curvature there. Amazing stuff, to be sure. Notice the towel that's kind of hanging off the edge. It's basically a snow block, I think. Can't go without a bed. And this here, this is a box of chocolates. It's the same emblem that's used on the front of the entrance there. Using that as the lid to the box, and then curved walls to fashion out the base. And then using my favorite chocolate piece, which is upside down barnacle weed for the chocolates. Really cute idea. And of course the habanero bloom for the rose. The sconces here, I think that's just the actual straight up floor lamp. The one that's got those bright cones of light, but they've got it positioned so you don't see the base of it. And then they've got the Google portrait again. Lots of purple pillows for the bed. Bet it took a while to get the pattern to look right so it didn't look weird. Little votive candle setting here. Again, it's that water trough. Bowls and domes and cylinders for this little lovely topiary. made out of I forget which bramble it is. It's like a bramble bush or something, and then they've added in the little hanging berries to make it look like little fruit or flowers on it. Really cute. And it's just built up into a little spiral. And over here is a perfume bottle. It's I think it's a couple of the orange bottles mushed together to make this one, with a Merg explosive for the little thing, and then of course the hanging cables for the little tube. And then there's a mirror and brush set, which is that Oran pillar thingy for the handles, Google portraits for the frames, and then I think a window for the mirror, and then grass for the brush. Can't forget the grandfather clock as well. We've seen many versions of this, and it's always different. Is it 195 for it? I thought it was 115 as well. Let me see. Yep, it's 195. I didn't realize it was more expensive. Because so many of them are the 115, but I guess it's a little specialized. But it comes with like a ton of pieces. You get 5, 5, 10, 10, 3, and then one each of the different types of waterfalls. So it's a really good deal. Especially since you can earn omnibits just by playing, so eventually you'll have enough. Oh, possibly. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like the Technophage Spider Rider is up. So the grandfather clock, again, sticking with the empty trophy cabinets, multiples of those for the main part of it. Looks like books for some of it to kind of help blend it in with the rest. There's the Hugel portrait, of course, been color shifted. There's at least one actual forward clock. So it's got the little cuckoo here, and then of course the little moving parts down here. But they've covered up most of the rest of it to hide up the bits they didn't want showing. Amazing stuff though. So that is the honeymoon cottage plot for Aurora's CBDC efforts. Just amazing stuff. And you know, if you don't want to go this elaborate, you don't have to. You could just keep it like some of the others, a little bit more downsized. Yeah, amazing stuff and great ideas. I'm sure somebody can visit this place and think, wow, I could have done this, or I could use that, or I could change it up a little bit and refine it a little bit more and everything. But there's just so many little details here that's you just want to squeeze. Okay, so the last place we're going to visit today is Maddie's, if I can get the name right. It's Zara Sunrise. And again, I believe Maddie made this especially for a particular thing. Now, Maddie said that they didn't go all out on the landscaping, so it's basically just Insta hills with a little bit of rock, a little bit of greenery, some trees and stuff. And you can, of course, see the stone path. But you'll see just how elaborate Maddie went with as far as changing the look of the cottage, because when I first came here I was like, where is it? Because I didn't recognize it, but you'll see it when we get into it. So To start with, you've got this custom light post. It's the fancy, what's it called? The fancy hanging lamp, I think is what it's called. It's got a chain, and then it's the green little bit here. And they've turned it, added some bowls, multiples of those for here and here. And then these here, I think, are the Gothic pillars. The pathway itself, I think, is just gray stones, and these are laid down individually. So Maddie had to size and resize and get it all just like they wanted. You can see from atop one of the hills. Again, um, they could have left the clutter on, but if they had have, then the clutter would only just be down in here area, because that's where the actual ground level is. Because the Protostar Insta Hills and any other kind of custom elevations you might give your plot doesn't carry the clutter with them. So it looks more natural by leaving the clutter off and them actually adding the grasses and stuff where they want it. So they left it off the pathway and just had a little bit of growth along the edges here. So we got the archway. Again, it appears to be the same stones they're using for the pathway, and they've just built this arch up with it, using some of those spring decor pack elements like the fencing and the vines, and then adding touches of overgrowth. We also got patches of those nice little flowers. So this is the cottage. Now, I know it doesn't seem like it is, but it's actually there. You can see about the only hint of it from this point of view is the porch. That's the actual porch of the cottage that I sent everybody. So the house is there, but Maddie has taken the liberty of basically layering things on top of the walls on the exterior to kind of make it look different. So it's hardly recognizable, but then it is. Um, and just like Aurora, Maddie has extended the house to expand a little further so that they can play around with more of the furniture. Excuse me. Um, so we're just going to take a look around on the outside, and then we'll go into the interior. So right off the bat, I think these are, I want to say they're the ends of pillars, but I'm not quite sure that's actually the case. So I'm not for positive what they're using for the seats, the steps here, and their version of the porch. But I can tell you that the little welcome mat here is actually part of the heart um, uh, table, heart collection table. It's that one that I call the butterfly. It's typically blue, and they've color shifted it to a different color to make it stand out a little bit more. Let's see. You can see they've used mostly, well, it looks like hover park pieces for most of the roofing. Look at that design though. I have no idea which piece. There's like over 90 pieces of hover park pieces, so I don't really keep track of those. But look at the design that come out of that for this little canopy awning type deal. And of course that topper is the ornate foreign pillar thingy. They've even got some smoke effects coming out. I'm pretty sure that's one of those from the decor pack that you can get off of the vendor, the different smokes. Out here we have a little bit of a patio with a fountain. It's using one of those, I think it's the taurine head statue and then a waterfall coming out of the mouth, and then the pool. I think it's one of those upside down chalices for the water for this one because it's solid, um, but it's see-through. But I could be wrong. It could be another sheet of glass or something. But it's so shiny, it reminds me of that. And then, of course, the pool itself is bordered with the bowls. It's the green bowls, several of those. We like to use them for pies, things like that. And then, of course, the lily leaves here. Excuse me. Back here we have a little picnic table area, little porch stand. I mean, just look at the way they did this here with like almost like a lattice work. And most of it's hover part pieces for all these extra roofing and stuff. But this is like 2x4s here with glass. It looks very modern, very fancy. And then you've got this little, it's almost like a bird fountain, but they've turned it into a planter. So you've got, I think this is one of those ruin pillars. It's not the Gothic one, but it's the one that I think it's like kind of broken. I think it's what it is because I don't think the other ones have. This is more round and it's got those stripes along it, so it's not the Gothic one. But topped again with that bowl combination, and then the blue pods that have been colored pink, red, just for difference. Upside down overgrowth to make it look like there's ivy growing up the sides of the walls. Okay, so now remember, this is the actual little cottage that was given to everybody. There's the porch part of it, and even a lot of it is covered up. But you can see the books here. This is the interior of the cottage part. This part and this area here, just this little bit. That's the cottage. So it's actually there. It's just been disguised from the outside, kind of like having an actual prefab home and then building around it like I just did with the Osun house. It's the same concept. And Maddie did confirm it with me, and I was like, yeah, sure, if you want to do it that way. It's like they left the books here, but then they covered it with 2x4s just to accent it a little more. I believe the window treatments are actually curtains, drapes, I guess is the name of them in the game. And then they just recolored them. Some of them are pink, some of them are kind of almost an orange. This cabinet here is 2x4s, and then I think I want to say it's books, but I'm not for positive. This is that portrait with the little gnome-looking guy, and Maddie chose to cover it up to make it look like a window mirror. For the little seating arrangement here around the table, that's those upside down empty trophy cabinets topped with sleeping bags that have been color shifted. For the table itself, it's another one of the trophy cabinets as the base and the little centerpiece here, and then 2x4s. And it looks like even some of them have been color shifted just to offset them away from the edge coloring as well. Over here, they added shelving, cabinetry, color shifting the floors. The handles appear to be emerged dynamite. Check in for that. These, oh my gosh, it looks like 2x4s, but again, color shifted different. Maddie's one of those that loves textures and things and really has a knack for finding ways making new stuff out of the same old stuff. It's like this faux door here. And I'm not quite sure what that is. It looks like the back of the air conditioner thing, but I can't say for sure if that's what it is. But still trimming it with the 2x4s and got the little merg handle there. Here we have a little, it's not an aquarium, it's more like a terrarium kind of pet thing because it's like they got the food bowls and then the little pet. And then they've extended it further. This is where that little window would be, where the one had the bay window set up. It's the same window, but they're using it as a doorway. So again, this is the cabin that I gave them, and then it kind of turns into this. Hover part pieces for a lot of the staircase here and the curving. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's both. Well, we started on entity side for the house tours, but we're doing the CBDC stuff, so this is EU at the moment. The little leprechaun has even been color shifted. You've got bookcases inset for some little bit of just throwing something in there. Um, Rolled sleeping bags for these little chairs. These, I think, are the ornate pillars, and it's just the little bottom part, so it makes it look like it's a nice little foot for the table. I think that's hover part pieces, the edge ones. And then, of course, the rug for the little doily. Again, the same thing they're using for the welcome mat out front. It's just the same thing, but they've left it the natural color, the blue. I call it the butterfly thing, but it's not what it's called. Little heart-shaped bookcase here. Again, hover part pieces. And it looks like color shifted. Well, it might not be color shifted, but I think it's pillars being used for the shelves. But they have color shifted some of the books. Yes, that is true, Lil. That's why I love showing these things, because it's amazing what they come up with, and um, it's inspiring. I hope it gives other people ideas to work on for their own projects. Okay, so let's visit the bed here. This is hover part pieces. Again, it's mimicking the shape that they made for the bookcase, and they've just modified it slightly to make it the headboard and footboard. The bed itself is rolled sleeping bags for the trim on the blanket and the pillows. Sleeping bags open for this part, and it looks like the snowy snow blocks for the pillows there. This part is hover part pieces, but it's the brown, like, basic ornate dresser. I say basic ornate, but that's like contradictory. It's like the brown little dresser, and it looks like it's been slightly color shifted as well. The same thing they're using for the base of the table here, they're also using for the base of the lamp. And it's that same lamp before, but it looks like they've color shifted it slightly as well. I like how they've made this do double time. It's not only the foot of the bed, it's also the seating for the fireplace part as well. Again, looks like, I'm not sure what that is. It looks like pillows, but or sleeping bags, sort of. I'm not for positive what they're using for the cushions, but it looks really nice. Um, let's see, fireplace looks to be pillars, I think. I think these are some of those new blocks, actually. I think that's what they're also using for the front porch. Let's see. I think it's, no, not that one. Where is it? This one here. The street curb sampler pack. I think that's what they're getting those pieces from for the steps. For here, and then for the fireplace as well. The only thing I could think of. This is a fence piece for the little grid here. The little clock, oh my gosh. Cover part pieces for the main body of it. I see bowls. I see Merg dynamite for the legs and the hands. I see a little bit of Hugel portrait. Hard to make out what's being used for the little number bits, but books maybe? Not sure. Dining table. They've used the, oh, what's that thing called? Starts with a K, I think. Some kind of a sword. It's like a decorative sword, stony sword piece. Kind of associated with taurine, I think. But it's got a special name. It's a craftable, I believe. They're using that to make the backing of the chairs, using the ornate pillars, I think, for the bases, and then adding the yellow pillows as cushions. The pillars are also the base of the table. Green pillows for the little doily thing in the center. And then for the kitchen, we have a lot of color shifting going on to accent the backing of the walls. Got the vent here over the stove. Red moon vents lined up there. Got, I think these were landing pads, if I remember right. Chua cups. Oh, we're going to be ending this just in time, aren't we? I think these are, I'm not sure what that is. Bottle tops for the handles. The sink, they took the time of actually building a built-in sink here. This is a copper Chua sipper, I don't know what it's called. The sipper cup or something like that. It's one of those. Look up sipper and I think you could probably find it. With a couple of wine bottle tops for the handles on that. And then this is built out of Oran walls. The dry rack here, I can't remember what they said this was. I think it's multiple travel posters with metal planks, metal thingies. I'm not sure. I can't remember what it was. With a little grid there. Of course, the refrigerator looks to be medical tables, maybe. I'm not for positive. The handles, though, look like the vintage beer mugs. And then, of course, that leads you out to the back porch. But again, they took a simple little makeshift cottage that I gave them, and they created this lovely little house. Again, if you didn't know it, you wouldn't even realize this actually part of it, but it is. It's right here. It looks totally different than the others, and that's what I loved about the CBDCs. And I do hope that I can one day bring those back, because that was really part of the fun of seeing someone take either a similar idea or a similar object and then just interpret it differently. So that's all of them, I think. Like I said, there was actually two others, but I couldn't find the one. and the other one was set on private, so I wasn't able to show it. If Ethel gets a hold of me later, though, I'll message them after this. We might visit it next week. But yeah, some amazing stuff. I'm so delighted you guys took the time to participate. I know it was probably stretching things a bit, going out of some of your guys' comfort zones, especially with the cramped space. I'm sure that's why they decided they wanted to expand on it to kind of give them a little bit more freedom. But just seeing how you treated that cramped space and was still able to make it look nice and, you know, not, you didn't get stuck or anything. Everybody's still able to walk through it nicely. It's just an incredible job. So well done to all that participated, and I appreciate it. And if and when we do restart the CBDC, I will for certain let you guys know. In the meantime, just a quick reminder that um, Seraphin Blades on the forums is looking for some museum artwork. If you have a painting or a sculpture, something that you might want to contribute, and it's 50 items or less, please do get in touch with them. There is an actual forum thread. I think it's called Museum of Natural Talent. So you should be able to look it up there directly, or you can just message them privately to work out some arrangement as far as exchanging the code or providing them with some of the items that they might need, etc. But that could be something you can work on if you need some kind of objective. But yeah, the hills, it depends. These particular hills are in-game hills. They're called Protostar Insta Hills. You can buy a pack of those straight off of the vendor. Let's see, right here. Get a set of like 4 or 5 of them, different shapes. And they will take the coloring of whatever ground option you have. So I think this one is Celestion version, if I remember right. Or it might just be the regular one. Looks like the regular one. Anyway, if you don't or can't afford to get the ones from the cash shop, you have a couple of alternatives to create your own kind of elevations. They won't be rounded necessarily, but you can get other elevations of ground. The cheapest one, of course, is the upside down snowy hill. It behaves similarly to the Insta Hills in that it mirrors the coloring of the ground below, but it's actually a mound of snow. You actually placed it by itself, it would just come up like a little a pile of snow, but you turn it upside down and it mirrors whatever's down below. Another object that does that is what's called the massive umbrella tree. That one's a little bit more on the rare side, so if you try to buy it like from the auction house, you're probably going to pay a fair amount for it. And another alternative, which I've seen some do, and I've done it myself using domes, but I've seen others use like the hay piles. They'll take that as the actual shape, so you get a little bit more of a rounded hill type of thing, and then they just layer lots and lots of grass patches over top. I've seen people use that in a number of places. I've done it myself. Doesn't quite look as smooth maybe as the actual Insta Hills, but it's an alternative if you can't afford or don't want to buy the ones from the cash shop. Another good option is using stones and then layering grass on them. The Hugel statues are a good option for that. I've used that in a couple places as well. Okay, so I think we're going to wrap things up, guys, because it does look like the maintenance is going to be kicking off here shortly. Again, thank you to everyone that has been missing the show. I'm glad we are back. I hope to continue this as we are doing now. Again, I'm going to have to change the scheduling on my Twitch channel page and everything to get it all up to date. But just a reminder, we won't be doing the live building, at least for the time being. We're just going to stick with the weekly house tours. So I know it's kind of not as uh, active as before, but again, I'm still kind of recovering from the flu from last week and the week before. And I've every time I get sick, it seems like I go maybe a few days and then next week I'm sick again because it's like every bug around I'm uh, apparently sending out signals and say, hey, come my way, you can stay with me for a few weeks, and then I catch another one. So rather than just put the stress and strain on myself, we're going to keep it to once a week for now. So since today was entity side, we'll be visiting Javits homes next week. Again, if you have any suggestions of homes that you think deserve a look and we haven't toured them already, feel free to message me with the names. We visited hundreds on Javits side, so it might be slim pickings there on finding ones that I haven't seen yet or don't already have on my queue list. But for sure, if you're on NA side, I haven't had as much time to tour on that side myself. There's been a few people that have done some tours in the past, so we may be visiting some of those, so it may seem like a little bit of a repeat, but I kind of do my tours a little differently than others, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But I just don't have as long a queue list on that side yet. I'm working on it, but it would be very helpful if you happen to know of some I think would be a good thing to look at. I will be sure and add them to the list. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Have fun with your building. Take it easy. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's a time investment. Not just time, but your funds and your patience. You got to have lots of patience. And for any new builders out there that are looking to get into housing, don't be discouraged by what you see others building. Don't constantly be comparing yourself to them. Remember, a lot of us have been doing this for a few years now, so we've had a lot of time to practice and get used to the tools available. Um, uh, we've developed our own little tricks and things that we've just become comfortable. So obviously, um, uh, what we produce might be a little bit more detailed and fanciful, if you want to say, in comparison to a beginner builder. Um, that's not always the case. We have had some come fresh into it and they just astound us. But don't be discouraged. To me, as long as you're putting in some effort, it will show, and people will appreciate it when they visit your place. Um, but again, thank you guys for the support. Appreciate the follows, the tweets, the retweets, the subscribers on YouTube as well. And just getting the word out that we're back in business. And yeah, that's all I can say. So yeah, thanks guys for joining. I hope you had fun. Enjoy the game, enjoy the building, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.